Hello, everybody, and welcome to another review of the Aliens Trident Comics. So, this is issue number 9 of October 1991. It was again £1.50 of the then Queen's money in the UK. So, up here is the information, and this layout is the same as all the others at the moment. So, you've got your main alien story. You've got your new Predator story, which is based on the Predator Big Game book. And we've got the Aliens versus Predator. Now, that is some good art on the front there of a hunter with a bag of skulls. Very well detailed art, that one. It's very good. So this had a little change up. This was the one where... So the previous person, Dennis Bavar, wasn't mentioned on this one. So you had the cover art was by Chris Warner, and editor was Martin Skidmore, designed by Jane Hubbard, promotion by Nigel McKay, and then you've got the Alien story. So in the story so far, we covered last time, this comic version of Aliens is based directly after Aliens. So in this version, Ripley, Newt and Hicks all survive, and there's a story to where what happened to Ripley, how she disappeared. We covered that in previous reviews. And then Hicks and Newt were on Earth when Earth became overrun by xenomorphs, because it does get overrun by xenomorphs in the end. So they've all now been reunited through the story, and Ripley was forced to go back to the derelict, the space jockey on LV-426, where the basically the engineer's equipment was activated, and she had one of those visions, those holographic visions, and she was able to see that, as well as a warning, that the signal was also a direction not to go to a planet which appears to be the xenomorph homeworld. Now, on this homeworld is an overall queen that's breeding xenomorphs. And Ripley now believes that if she can capture the queen from this planet, bring it to Earth, and destroy it, there'll be no xenomorphs out there anywhere else. So then they can just concentrate on the Earth. So she's devised a group of mercenary Marines to basically get a ship together and go and kidnap this overall queen from the xenomorph homeworld. And she's got a plan as to the way she can do it, because she's worked out that all the time she's been sending a signal for them to come home, the other xenomorphs, but they've got no way of doing it. So she's still reaching out to them across the galaxy. And she believes that if she brings a captured load of xenomorphs, that queen will come and try and rescue them. And that is how she will capture it. So, in the comics, as you can see, there's Hicks, Ripley, and an older version of Newt there. And they're at the moment discussing the plan. So Hicks, he's not on board because he thinks it's just a dream that she's had, and he's not sure if this is just going to be a suicide mission. Newt, at the same time, has become obsessed with a young girl that's communicating from Earth, which reminds her of much like herself, around the same age as when she was on LV-426. She's the same. She's trapped on Earth with the xenomorphs and is trying to survive. So she wants to rescue her. She wants to be her Ripley, basically, which is a good arc. So Ripley obviously has become a bit obsessed with wiping out the xenomorphs. As I say, guys, these comics, they completely avoid Alien 3 and go straight on from Alien 2 into a different story. So there you can see they've got a drop ship with a prison attached to it, and that's the plan. And they're going to put xenomorphs inside this little prison, and that's how they're going to lure this queen in to try and rescue them. Then they're going to take her to Earth. There's a good section in here where basically it's an old version of a dropship, and none of them know how to fly it, or none of them know how to control it. But Hicks somehow does in the comics. He knows how to fly this particular model, because obviously it was part of the unit that he used of his unit. And it's good here. He's watching the Sulaco Eyes Only final report, and his crewmates are mentioned: Apone, Hudson, Vesquez. In the world they were nothing, but out there they were my friends, which is good, and I would have died for them. And then he realises that he's got to back Ripley. He's got to back her up. And Hicks then volunteers to fly the mission. So the mission is a go. And there's a good scene of Newt saying to Amy out the window towards Earth, "I'll be back and I'm going to rescue you," kind of thing. And they've taken off. So there's some good art of the dropship taking off for the mission, because they've basically put the engine in it that allows them to do the hyperspace. So basically she's briefing the troops here. Ripley is briefing the troops that she believes that those xenomorphs, when they get within range of the planet, are going to start calling out to her, and that's when they're going to make them come. And there's the cargo in the prison ship of how they're going to capture her. So they've got all them in captivity, and they're hoping that she'll come and try to rescue them. Then it's talked about Arona's bomb. So before Earth was lost, a government scientist named Arona conceived a plan to detonate multiple nuclear warheads in the infested areas of Earth. But Ripley wants to draw all her children in with her, with this queen. So she wants to get them all in one place, draw them all together, so they try and rescue her from this prison. And that's when they're going to nuke it. So it says there, next issue is going to be Homeworld. So that's when they're going to go to the aliens' homeworld, try and kidnap this queen, and then bring her to Earth, which Hicks thinks is a crazy idea, because he just thinks they're bringing more aliens to Earth, which they don't need already. They've got enough there, apparently. So we'll see. So yeah, good art again, guys. Good art again. These are very good comics. And there you have the Aliens model kit competition. Can you create a scarier monster than the Aliens? The Aliens may be the most terrifying monsters ever created, but maybe you can do better. Wow. Think what the prize is. So first prize was a set of 3 Alien model kits. They would have been worth some money now. Very valuable. Especially unopened and unmade. Crikey, I wouldn't like to think how much they cost. Second prize, 5 runner-up prizes of the Alien model kits. The 6 winning entries will be printed in this comic in a future issue. Wow, okay. The artwork should be on A4. Very good. And your entries, guys, have got to be in by November the 10th, 1991. So if you haven't done it yet, it's too late, guys. Too late. Brilliant. Right, so then we move on to the Predator story. So this was Predator Big Game. So Predator Big Game, I think was possibly, I mean, I'm only speculating here, but I think was possibly had some idea of how prey was going to go, because this story is based on an army base in New Mexico, and the predator has come to hunt, and it's basically about a character called Nakai. He's on anti-aircraft stag with one of his fellow soldiers when the predator attacks. So the predator has attacked already, as covered in the last episode. It kills Nakai's colleague and flays him, and Nakai manages to get away, and he goes to tell his fellow officers what he's seen, but they've already found the predator's ship and they're already recovering it. So they then believe that somehow this the person who flies this ship is maybe a communist spy or something like that, but obviously it's far, far worse than that. So a small two-man team has been sent to see what Nakai was talking about and make sure he's telling the truth about his colleague, and they've come under attack as well. And as you can see from here, the predator has taken both of them out. He's killed both of them. So a good little predator vision there. So he's taken out both of them. Nakai's fellow soldiers are giving him a hard time because they believe somehow he's killed the other officer, the other soldier that was with him. And they're starting to have a go at him about being a Navajo and giving him a hard time about his Native American heritage, and basically accusing him of scalping this missing soldier. And Nakai ends up fighting with them, and he's giving them a good hiding basically. And then obviously the officer in charge calls him out, and they're talking to him about what he's seen and telling him that what they're talking about is classified. And they've told him now that they know it's not a surveillance craft, and they believe it's obviously a hostile combat vessel, and which is pretty cool. So he tries to tell him what he's seen, obviously how much of a threat these creatures are, and he doesn't want to know. He just wants to know about the ship. He's not interested in the pilot at the moment, and he's trying to tell him that the pilot is obviously more dangerous, which is the predator, than the ship itself at the moment. And he's telling him to take time off so that he can't talk about what he's seen. So he's been stood down for the minute, but he's guilty about what's happened to his partner, and he's got to deal with it himself. And the predator then, some good art, the predator watching the actual base. There it is in the tree. Look at that art, guys. That is fantastic, isn't it? And it's saying, do you think the pilot realises we've seized his craft? So then it moves on to the base where they're actually tampering with this ship. And it's quite a good part of the comic there where it says, that's curious, that wasn't flashing a minute ago. It wasn't even on. And then it's the predator has actually self-destructed the ship. So he's stranded as well. But he's obviously destroyed the ship. He can't let his technology fall into their hands. He'd be classed as dishonourable, wouldn't he? So then it moves onto Nakai drinking, because obviously he doesn't realise what he's seen, and he starts arguing with the bar patrons and fighting with them. There's some good art, like I say. So he's drinking a lot. Then it moves on to a ranch where they're talking about cattle going missing. Now this is quite interesting because obviously the local ranchers, they think it's a puma, but it's not. Obviously, it's the predator. It's on the roof. Now, I always remember in Predator 2 when they go to that slaughterhouse, don't they? And the Gary Busey's character says, doesn't he, that the predator has a taste for beef. So obviously they're meat eaters, because obviously he's eating the cattle here, isn't he? So obviously they're partial to a bit of raw meat by the looks of it. And next issue is Panic in the Streets. So that means the predator has obviously found the town or whatever. The army base is obviously, don't know if it's been totally destroyed, but it's not going to be in very good condition, is it? They have a section here where you used to be able to order comics at one time. You probably couldn't do it now, so that these places are even there anymore. But yeah, there's a Batman comic there at the top. Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. And this is the AVP Prey. So I've been covering this in the last sort of episode. So where we left it was the injured Yautja is still in the infirmary, and this woman called Miriam is looking after him and nursing him back to health. And I think he's kind of found that obviously it's an honourable thing that she's done. You know, to nurse your enemy back to health is considered quite honourable, isn't it? And then that was that predator who was using Noguchi's voice, Noguchi being the main character in Aliens vs Predator, to break into the base. So he's broken in. She arms herself, which obviously is the wrong thing to do in front of these predators, but obviously they've been just killing unarmed people anyway. So I think this predator has been learning of their dishonour as he's been listening to the conversations that have been going on. So he then protects her and starts fighting with this other Yautja. All at the same time, the fighting is all going on in Prosperity Wells on the streets. You've got Yautja, xenomorphs everywhere, and humans. They're all just fighting amongst each other. The humans are trying to survive. Noguchi has come up with a plan to release the herd into the town. So there you can see the predator is fighting, and the injured predator manages to stop him, and gets in his way and starts fighting. And because he's still strapped to the bed, he can't really defend her properly. But then Noguchi bursts through the wall with a speeder bike and knocks down the predator. And there you can see Noguchi is holding the predator at gunpoint, and Miriam is undoing his equipment, and Noguchi saying, "What are you doing?" And the predator masks up, and she says, "I think this one appreciates our help. The other one, when he attacked me, he saved my life." So what kind of mood do you think you're in right now, in the robotic voice from the predator mask? And that's when the Yautja beats the mask off of the attacking predator and steals his trophy bag to dishonour him, basically, I think, because he's been acting dishonourable. And they've run off and left him fighting for now. And this is, like I said to you, in the Aliens vs Predator film, this is a similar sort of story, but it was better. I just like this one better. The setting of it was so much better, and the story would have been so much better as well. Not that AVP was a bad movie. I've said this before. I liked AVP. I thought it was a good movie, but it would have been better if they had remade this as a movie. And I've given my reasons on the other reviews why. So Noguchi and Miriam are taken to the air to see what's going on above them. And these two guys who are infected have now managed to get out of the ranching ship, but they are infected. And it's, as you can see, they're fighting everywhere, like I said, all over the place. And that is when it jumps again back to the lab where the Yautja kills the other one. I don't know if he sees him as being dishonourable, I guess. And then he goes off to a hunt. And this is much like the setting of AVP, where it ends up being Noguchi and the Predator working together to fight the creatures. And I like that bit there. If you look, guys, he's flicking through his wrist strap and flicking through his different fields of vision, and you can see the aliens, the humans, just the Oucher, and all the others. And as you can see there, guys, the Rhinoff run through the town and start crushing everything. The Predator, he takes to an aerial tower to escape it, because as you can see, they're just running around crushing everything. Some good art there, guys. And then it takes back to the skies again, where Noguchi actually sees their friendly Predator is now being chased by Xenos up a telegraph pole, too many of them for him to handle. So she decides that she's going to rescue him. And that's when it goes to the next issue, Rescue. So there we have a really good Terminator advert. The usual bits where you can order your stuff again, as I spoke to you about in the previous reviews. And the cool art models on the back. I had the APC and the dropship when I was younger. Really good, those Airfix models. Worth a fortune now if you get them, guys. So that is the Aliens comic of October 1991, issue 9. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care now.